Hello, how are you? I hope you're doing well. For today's video, I'm going to show you how to crochet this preemie sized baby beanie. For this pattern, you're going to need yarn of your choice and a 6.5mm crochet hook. You can use whatever hook size you have. I will be using a 6.5mm crochet hook, and then I will show you how to do adjustments on your sizing depending on what hook you have. So before I begin, I'd like to go over a couple of things. The first thing that I'd like to go over is that the beginning chain length that we are going to be making is going to be for this entire piece. So the chain is going to be from the top of the beanie to the bottom of the beanie, and the chain length is also going to include the length that we're going to fold upwards like this. So this is all going to be made with one chain length. The actual beanie itself, once it's folded, is going to be about 4 to 5 inches, but then we're going to make an extra 2 inches for the brim. So I just like to say that in case anything is confusing in the video. The actual beanie itself is about 4 to 5 inches, but this little brim is also an extra 1.5 to 2 inches. And this beanie size is going to fit an 11 to 13 inch head once it's fully stretched. So I just wanted to give all of that information. Again, once you put this on a baby's head, it should stretch up to 12 to 13 inches around. Anyway, now that that's all over the way, let's begin. To start off our preemie sized baby beanie, we're going to first make a slip knot. To make a slip knot, you're going to go ahead and grab the end of your yarn and your index finger and your middle finger. And you're going to go ahead and take this yarn and wrap it in front of your index finger like so. Go ahead and hold down the yarn with your thumb. Then go ahead and grab the longer strand of yarn and wrap it around the opposite direction, like so, until you have this X formation. So the longer strand should be at the top, and the shorter strand that you're holding down with your thumb should be at the bottom. Now you're going to go ahead and grab your hook. I'm using a 6.5mm crochet hook, and you're going to want to insert your hook through the top section of the X, so this section right over here. You're going to go ahead and grab the yarn that's behind that little section, so this yarn right over here, and pull it through like so. And then once that's on your hook, you're going to want to hold that yarn down with your thumb and then release the loop that's on your fingers. And now what you want to do is you want to grab this strand of yarn right over here and the back strand of yarn, and you're going to want to pull. And once you've pulled, you should have this loop that you can go ahead and pull on the longer strand, and when you pull on the longer strand, it should tighten up on your hook like so. And there is your slip knot. And now we're going to snap. Okay, once we have our slip knot on our hook, we're going to go ahead and start chaining. I'm going to go ahead and chain 22, but like how I said in the introduction, your chain length is going to be completely up to you as long as it's around the 6.5 inch length. So for me, to reach 6.5 inches, mine is going to be 22 chains long. So to chain, I'm going to go ahead and yarn over, like so, turn my hook around, and pull through. Again, yarn over, turn my hook around, and pull through. Yarn over, turn my hook around, and pull through. Go ahead and continue making chains until you reach your 6.5 inch mark. Again, mine is going to be 22 chains, so if you have a 6.5mm crochet hook and category 4 yarn, then you're going to follow this pattern exactly the same. So go ahead and chain your chain length, and I will meet you when I'm done. I've made my 22 chains, and this comes out to about 6.5 inches, which is perfect. And once you have your chain length, we're going to go ahead and chain an extra 2. So 1 and 2. Now I have a total of 24. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and work into our third chain. So skip the 2 that we just made and work into our third. And into that third stitch, we're going to do a half double crochet. To do a half double crochet, we're going to yarn over, insert your hook through the third chain, grab yarn, pull up. You have 3 loops on your hook, grab yarn, and pull through all 3. And that's how you do a half double crochet. And we're just going to go ahead and continue doing that all the way down the row. So yarn over, insert your hook into the next chain, grab yarn, pull up. You have 3 loops on your hook, grab yarn, and pull through all 3. I'm going to show you a few more. yarn over, insert your hook through the next chain, grab yarn, pull up, you have 3 loops on your hook, grab yarn and pull through all 3. One more, yarn over, insert your hook through the next chain, grab yarn, pull through, you have 3 loops on your hook, grab yarn and pull through 2. Now you're going to continue half double crocheting until you have a total of 5 chains left. So keep doing half double crochets until you have 5 chains left over. And I will go ahead and meet you when I'm done. Feel free to pause the video. I'm almost at the end of my very first row, and I have 5 chains left at the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And into those 5 chains, we're going to do a single crochet. So we've been doing half double crochet for this whole row. Now we're going to start doing single crochets. So do a single crochet. You're going to insert your hook directly into your next chain. Grab yarn, pull up. You have 2 loops on your hook. You're going to grab yarn and pull through both of them. And that's how you do a single crochet. So again, insert your hook through your next chain. Grab yarn, pull up. You have 2 loops on your hook. Grab yarn, pull through 2. Insert your hook into your next chain. Grab yarn, pull up. You have 2 loops on your hook. Grab yarn, pull through 2. Insert your hook through your next chain. Grab yarn, pull up. Grab yarn, pull through 2. And then again in your last stitch, insert your hook. Grab yarn, pull up. You have 2 loops on your hook. Grab yarn, pull through 2. So if you are following the pattern exactly like I did, when you had a total of 22 chains at the beginning plus a chain 2, you should have a total of 17 half double crochets and 5 single crochets. But again, your number could be completely different depending on the chain length that you did. Right now would be the perfect time to go ahead and grab your measuring tool to see if your hat length is good, and I'm going to go ahead and grab mine right now. So I've just gotten my measuring tool, and my first row is 7 inches, which is perfect, which means it's going to stay 7 inches around. Again, your beanie length is technically from your 5-inch mark for the preemie size. So 4 to 5 inches is your beanie. The other 2 inches are going to be folded upwards like this for the brim, which I will show you properly later. But your first row should be 7 inches, and it's going to stay 7 inches around. I just wanted to point that out. And now we're going to go ahead and continue. So for row number 2, we're going to go ahead and start off with a chain 1. So yarn over and pull through, turn your work. And now we're going to be working in the back loops. So since we did 5 single crochets in our last round, we're going to start with 5 back loop single crochets. So insert your hook into the back loop only. See how you have 2 of these loops? Both of them make a V, these 2 loops right here. We're not going to work into both of them. We're only going to work to the one that's away from you. So this one right here. So once you've inserted your hook, grab yarn, pull up. You have 2 loops on your hook. Grab yarn, pull through 2. You're just doing a regular single crochet just in the back loop only. So there's 1. Insert your hook into the back loop of the second one. Grab yarn, pull up. Grab yarn, pull through 2. There's your second single crochet. Here's your third one. Insert your hook into the back loop only. Grab yarn, pull up. Grab yarn, pull through both of them. You have 3. 2 more times, insert your hook. And grab yarn, pull up, pull through 2. And then your 5th time, insert your hook to the back loop. Grab yarn, pull up. You should have 2 loops on your hook. Grab yarn and pull through 2. So this is our 5 single crochets, like how we did in our previous row. And now we're going to go ahead and continue with our half double crochets. So we're also going to be working our half double crochets in the back loops only. So grab your yarn. Insert your hook to the back loop only, grab yarn, pull up. You should have 3 loops on your hook, grab yarn and pull through all 3. And do that again. Yarn over, insert your hook to the back loop only, grab yarn, pull up. You have 3 loops on your hook, grab yarn and pull through all 3. Yarn over, insert your hook to the back loop only, grab yarn, pull up. You have 3 loops on your hook, grab yarn and pull through 3. Continue doing back loop half double crochets for the rest of the row until you get to the end, and I will meet you when I'm done. I am near the end. I have 1 more back loop half double crochet to do, and I'm just going to redo that one. That wasn't a very nice half double crochet. And now we're done with round number 2. This is how it looks like so far. And now we're going to go ahead and move on to round number 3. So start off with a chain of 2. So I just want to say something. When you end off with a half double crochet, you're going to end off the round with a chain of 2. But if you end off with a single crochet, you're going to end off with a chain of 1. So since we ended off with a half double crochet over here, we're going to chain 2 and turn our work. And now we're going to do back loop half double crochets again. So yarn over, insert your hook through the back loop only, like so. Grab yarn, pull up. You should have 3 loops on your hook. Grab yarn and pull through all 3. We're going to do that a few more times. Yarn over, insert your hook through the back loop only. Grab yarn, pull up. You have 3 loops on your hook. Grab yarn and pull through all 3. Yarn over, insert your hook into the next back loop. Pull yarn. You have 3 loops on your hook, grab yarn, pull through 3. Yarn over, insert your hook through the back loop only, grab yarn, pull up. You have 3 loops on your hook, grab yarn and pull through all 3. Go ahead and continue doing half double crochets until you have 5 stitches until the end of this round, which is where we did our single crochets. So keep doing half double crochets until you get to your last 5 stitches. I'm here at the end. I have 5 stitches left, and those are where I did my single crochets in the previous rounds. So I'm going to go ahead and do back loop single crochets. So insert your hook through the back loop only, grab yarn, pull up. You have 2 loops on your hook, grab yarn, pull through 2. Again, insert your hook, back loop only, and do a single crochet. Back loop only, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Insert your hook through the back loop only, yarn over, you have 2 loops on your hook, grab yarn, pull through 2. Insert your hook through the insert your hook through the last back loop of the round and do a single crochet. And that's how it should look like so far. To end off round number 3, we're going to go ahead and chain 1 since we ended off with single crochets, and we're going to turn. And we're going to start this round with single crochets. So do back loop single crochets in the next 5 stitches. There's 1 single crochet in my back loop. There's my second. There's my third, 4th, and 5th. Once you have your 5 back loop single crochets, we're going to do back loop half double crochets for the rest of the round. So yarn over, insert your hook through the back loop only, grab yarn, pull up. You have 3 loops on your hook, grab yarn, pull through 3. Yarn over, insert your hook through the next back loop, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on your hook, grab yarn, pull through 3. Continue doing back loop half double crochets until the end of this round, and I will meet you when I'm done. I think that what I've showed you is pretty repetitionary. That's not a word, but that's fine. Repetitive. That's the word. There it is. Okay, so what I've been showing you is pretty repetitive. So I'm just going to go ahead and end off this round, and I'm going to show you the repeats for the rest of your beanie. So since I ended off with a half double crochet, we're going to go ahead and chain 2. And I'm going to loosen up my yarn so I can show you what we're going to do for the rest of, So now I'm going to show you what to do for the rest of the rounds. So we ended off with our half double crochet and chain 2. So for our next row, we're going to continue doing half double crochets, back loop half double crochets until you get to this part right over here. And then in your last 5 stitches, we're going to do back loop single crochets. And then you're going to chain 1, turn your work. It should look like this. And then you're going to go ahead and do 5 back loop single crochets and then back loop half double crochets for however many stitches you have left. Chain 2, turn, repeat the same thing again, do half double crochets in the back loops only, and then in your last 5 stitches do back loop single crochets, turn your work after you've chained 1, do back loop single crochets for 5 stitches, and then back loop half double crochets for the rest. And you're gonna continue repeating that pattern all the way around until you get a until your length reaches 10 to 12 inches once it's fully stretched. So for me, I think the length that I'm going to crochet is going to be about 8 inches. And then once it's fully stretched, it should be about 10 inches. But again, you're going to want to continue making these rounds until you get a length of a certain amount. but when you stretch the length, it should stretch up to about 10 to 12 inches, and I will show you that when I'm done. So continue repeating these steps until you have a length that stretches up to 10 to 12 inches, and I will meet you when I'm done with those. So I've done my repeat rounds until I have my desired length. Again, the desired length for this preemie hat should be about 12 to 13 inches when it's fully stretched. Keep in mind, you don't want this to stretch out too much because this is going to be for a baby beanie, so you want it to fit comfortably, so make sure that you stretch it only lightly to see if it reaches the 12 to 13 inch mark, which mine does, so I think that I'm good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and sew these two sides together. And it doesn't matter if you end it at the top or the bottom, we're just going to crochet these two sides together the exact same way. The first thing you have to figure out is which side is your prettiest side. They're both exactly the same, so it really doesn't matter. And once you figure out which side is prettier, you're going to want to make sure that that is facing inside. So let's say that this is my prettier side, I want to fold it like this. But if the other side is my prettier side, then I'm going to want to fold it like this. So for this sake, we're going to say that this side is prettier. So I'm going to fold it in like this. And I've done my chain one at the end of my single crochet round. You're going to want to do a single chain no matter what side you're at for this section. So now what we're going to do is we've chained one, insert your hook into the stitch right next to your chain one space, and the very first stitch in the opposite side, like so. And then you're going to slip stitch, like so. Find your next stitch and the next stitch of the opposite side, and slip stitch. Without splitting your yarn, of course. Insert your hook into the next stitch of both sides and slip stitch. So we're just slip stitching all the way until we get to the bottom. You should have the same number of stitches on both sides, so you just find the correlating stitch on both sides and stitch them together. And I will meet you when I'm done. Once you've slip stitched every stitch, you're going to end off with a chain one. Make sure that chain one is pretty tight, and then snip off a small strand of yarn and pull it through. And we're going to keep the work facing us for now, so this is where we stitched. We're not going to flip it over just yet, so the wrong side is still facing us. And now what we're going to do is we're going to cut 2 long strands of yarn, so about 12 inches each. So there's my first strand of yarn, and I'm going to go ahead and cut another strand of yarn about the same size. So now I have 2 strands of yarn, and now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and grab our darning needle, so this one right here. Focus. Oh, I guess it doesn't want to focus, but I have my darning needle right over here. There it is. And now you're going to want to insert both of these strands of yarn into your darning needle, which I will do off camera because I tend to struggle when it's more than one strand of yarn. So I'm going to go ahead and insert my darning needle, and I will show you what to do next. So I've inserted both my yarn strands into my darning needle, and now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and sew this top so it cinches inward. And to do that, we're going to first go ahead and find the place where we've sewn both ends together, which is right over here, and that's where we're going to start. So into that little bump where we've sewn everything together, you're just going to want to bring your darning needle through, like so. It might be a little difficult since there are 2 strands of yarn, but that's okay. And once you've gotten your yarn through, you're going to find your next little bump, and the bumps that I'm talking about are these little bumps. So these little stretchy parts of the bump, and those are the things that we're going to be inserting into. So here's my next bump. I'm going to go ahead and insert my yarn like so, and bring it through. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in really quick. Find your next bump, insert your needle through that bump. Find your next bump, insert your needle into that bump, and continue doing that all around until you get back to your beginning. And then when we're done, we're going to go ahead and cinch everything together. I've gone all the way around. This is where I've started and this is where I finished. And this yarn that I have attached to my darning needle, I'm going to go ahead and pull on so it cinches this little hole at the top closed. Make sure you do it pretty tightly. And then once you think it's tight enough, you're going to grab the yarn that you started with, so the yarn that we inserted in first, and you're just going to tie both strands together like so. And you're going to want to do a couple of knots until you think that it's secured enough. Make sure your knot is not too big because you don't want to make it uncomfortable. I just make mine as big as these stitches so they kind of blend together. And then once you're done with that, you're going to want to go ahead and hide these strands of yarn. And what I like to do is, again, we're still on the wrong side of our beanie, is I either like to sew it inwards, like back and forth through my stitches, or find a stitch that's right next to it and just bring my needle through the stitches in a straight line. That's a little harder to do because, again, you have two strands of yarn on your needle, but I'm just going to do it the way I usually do it. And then pull it through. And I'm going to continue doing that until I think that my yarn is hidden enough and also won't come undone. Of course, the knots help a lot. I just like to hide it in because it just gives me a little extra, I just know that it won't come undone. It gives me a little bit more confidence that it won't undo. So there's that. I'm going to go ahead and do the exact same thing and hide these extra strands of yarn doing the exact same thing, and I will do that off camera. And once you're done sewing it in, you can go ahead and flip it over to the nicer side. And this is how your beanie should look. It looks a little big, but that's because, remember, we made this beanie a little bit longer, so we can go ahead and fold it. So go ahead and fold your beanie and shape it however you would like to shape it. And then there you have your preemie sized baby beanie. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. I will do my best to do more sizes of this beanie. In fact, my next videos that I plan on making are bigger sizes of this beanie. So if you would like to make a different size of the same exact pattern, please leave it in the comments below, or just go ahead and wait for my next video, which I will show you how to make a bigger version. My plan is to get it to the adult beanie size, which is this. I think it looks pretty nice, and this color is very nice, and this fabric is also very soft. I mean, yarn fabric, same thing. Also, if you would like to add a little pom-pom at the top, I will leave the video in the description box below to show you how to make a pom-pom. And once you're done making the pom-pom, you just have to go ahead and sew it in and then tie it in from the inside. Again, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please consider subscribing, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye!